Hi, it's Ansu here from Ivytree Studio, and I'm playing around with my jelly print press, and I'm actually starting to enjoy it. It's the first time, so it's a homemade gel press. I This one is actually offcuts from the bigger one that I have. Let me just find that for a minute. I just needed to grab it quickly. This is my big one, and I actually store it within a cutting mat, plastic cutting mats that I cut up. Just got some paint here on it. And I found that I stored it for a couple of months. I've had it for a while now. I haven't had time to play with it. And I stored it in a sealed container, and it's like it gives off a plastic gas because you've now turned gelatin into plastic using the glycerin. So it's a scientific process, and then it becomes plastic. So organic material becomes plastic, and no bug or anything will get into that. So I stored it in the container. It gives off a gas because it's plastic, right? So I would store it in something that is open and ventilated so that that gas can escape. And then what I did was, with the offcuts, I just did this one, created this one last night, put it in the fridge overnight, just sealed it, and it's fine. It actually has a little indent from the plastic container that I made it, that I set it in, but I'm fine with that. And I can actually use this side. I started out on the other side. It kind of has a bend to it, so I'm going to turn it over and test out the other side a little bit. So this is just homemade play. It's nothing official, and I'm enjoying the process. I've made a bunch of prints already. You start out with just playing around and seeing what you can do with it. So the pink stain on here is a spray, that mixed media spray that I used, and I am not bothered at all with any rules. So later on, this is just the experimental phase. Later on I will do a little bit more research. I have started watching videos on it and so on. I like what I see, and I like the freedom of playing around with it. So I just want to place it on the, so I'm storing it in the, or on the plastic mat, but I'm also keeping the plastic mat as kind of a sturdy surface there. And I'm going to try out this end, and I found like my briar doesn't give me, sorry, that's a tin the briar was just stuck in. I don't like this briar. I haven't liked it since the very beginning. I don't use it a lot. I don't know if it's a bad quality, if it's the wrong quality, but I'm going to look out for something that's more rubbery. This is kind of too hard, I think, and I think that's the problem. So I started out using it, but it just picks up the paint and doesn't stick to the gel press. So what I did was, I'm using either my just a normal brush to add the paint. I kind of have more control also where I want to put my paint, and a little ice cream stick can also help put down paint. And I just want like a random process here, and I just did this one, and I kind of like that. Colors were popping, and I played around with the negatives as well, and different types of paper. So this is a glossy type of paper, and this is just a cardstock, a thick cardstock. I also have normal copy paper that I'm going to try out. My idea is to make a couple of prints and then make loads of cards with it. I have a challenge over in the Creative Girl Club, if you want to join, to make 21 cards over 21 days and then gift them away, and take a selfie of yourself when you gift it to someone, just to memory keep the experience and what it meant to you giving away your handwork. All right, so I just want to redo that color because I really liked it. I'm going to try and play around with it. I had the green on the left, no, the yellow on the left and the green on the right, something like that. But I'm going to put the green on top. And I just found that what helps me is I have a piece of paper to the left of me, cardstock, and one to the right. So the left one is like a palette, and so I put paint there and I add it to the gel press, and then I have a little offcut here that I just put my stencil on, and then I can just clean it off before I continue. So I kind of feel like I want both of those, and I cut pieces out, random shapes out from my plastic cutting mat offcuts that I had. I have a couple of crazy recycled shapes here and things that I'm trying to play with. I find that this makes a nice pattern. It's from a hair coloring kit, home kit that I saved many moons ago. I don't color my hair anymore. By the way, not good for hormones. And so I kept that. And I think if we can, as creatives, just be a little bit more mindful of our environment, and we can save and make art from throwaway stuff, from recycled materials and organic materials. Yesterday I did a class for my retreat, my online creative retreat called Revive, using eggshells and dry tea leaves to create texture for a texture paste for a mixed media artwork. So we can play around with all different kinds of things. I find that I haven't been using my craft paint for a while, and I actually want to use it. So I'm very stingy with my paint. I want it to last, and I have had this for a long time, and I want to use it before it goes bad. I hope it doesn't go bad. I haven't had an experience with Americana Deco Art paint that it goes off. Paints separate over time and things like that, or it goes bad depending on the quality and what it's made of. Okay, so I am just, this is very therapeutic. I'm not covering the whole thing because I'm just mindful of my size of my stencil, and I'm not losing that paint. I'm just putting it to the side. I'm going to keep it, so I feel like there's less waste. I'm mixing paint. I don't care if it gets muddy. It's a learning process, so your brain starts to learn which colors you can mix together and what you can do and what you can't do. So I'm just placing it down, and this is the part that I actually really like. Right, and you just take a piece of paper, put it over it. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Just press down. The harder you press, the more paint you're going to pick up. Alright, and voila, that's a crisp, nice image. Okay, so there's less paint in the background from the previous sessions, and that's why that color isn't as mixed as the previous one. You can see there's color from the previous prints, and this one is more just the green and the yellow. So that's part of the fun of this thing. You never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates. Run, Forest, run. Okay, and I'm going to leave that and pick up the rest of it, and I don't care if the image isn't complete because you can layer these pieces, and I intend to do that. And there's a little something there, and I'm going to see if I can pick up a little bit more, and there we go. So you get kind of, you can change the direction and so on. So lots of fun. Can really recommend this if you just want to play around with paint and paper, make your own designs. Then this is great. You don't need stencils, but stencils can be a lot of fun. You can try other things as well. So the negatives also leave a nice interesting print there, and if you layer it, I think for art journaling this is great. Right, let's try the heart in the middle, and I have a couple of circles here. I just want to find it. You should see my desk, it's all over the place. I just want to see if I can find the shapes that I cut out. Oh, there's another heart, so maybe let's try more than one heart, and let's just play with that. And then I'm going to add the leftover paint, and I don't mind going over there, but you want more paint on the gel press, so focus on that. And if you feel like you need more paint, I want a different color. I think I'm going to add a little bit of red to this. Okay, that's not a little bit, that's a lot, but I'm going to use that up in the coming prints. And I feel like I'm already creating an artwork by adding my paints randomly. So you can already think like an artist here. And I'm just going to leave it at that. There's a lot of green and yellow. And I'm just going to use normal copy paper for this one. Let's see what we get. It is just a bleh, not successful at all, but you can still layer on that. And then let's try again. So I tried different things. I leave on the hearts, then I take them off and see what I get. So every time you'll have a different result, depending on what you move around on the press. I feel like these three colors are nice and popping, and I don't mind mixing a bit. Okay, and now I'm going to remove the hearts. I'm going to get a totally different. That's not going to be nice because there's a lot of paint there, but I don't mind. Let's just play around with this. I'm going to take a new fresh piece of paper. So one heart will be wonky, and that's okay. Just don't stress the small stuff. Play and have some fun. Okay, still not hearty enough for me, so I'm going to change up what I do here. I'm going to cover that a little bit, just random, and see what I can do here. Place it there and place this one away from it. I think there needs to be a gap. So we'll probably say obvious, but when you're just playing around, obvious is not what the focus is. It's just to see what you can get from this process and having fun. Every time you do it, it's different. I'm changing things around now. Red that I can still add. Totally something different. And let's see if I can pick this up. This up and see what we get here. So this is something I can suggest if you're feeling a little stressed and you want to just relax. I have a crazy schedule at the moment, and so I've been putting this off for months now, and I was just fed up, and I said, no, I'm going to do it now. Oh, I like that. I like it. It looks like an abstract painting already. Okay. And keep going. I'm going to try this and just pick up the rest there. So some pieces are just to pick up paint if you want to clean it off a little bit, and then it ends off being a nice art piece. Alright, so let's try something else. I have different stencils here. I have a little silhouette, and I'm going to see if I can play with the silhouette. Okay, interesting patterns. You can still see the silhouette a little bit. Alright. And so this is what I have so far. I'll take some images of what I've done and put it on social media, then you can check. I'm thinking of using a Celebrate stencil for something else. Let's see. I want a darker pattern here. Let's see. We go for this is a soft black, and it's got this yummy feel to it, like it's chocolate, dark chocolate. And then I'm going to try my other paint. Is gold, and this one is also metal, but it's a little bit more yummy, so probably the bronze didn't last as long as the gold. The gold one is newer actually, so probably it was just a bad batch. So let's see what we can do here with the gold. Ooh, look at that color. Oh my goodness, this is pretty. Okay. Let's see what the Celebrate stencil does with this guy. This is going to be good. I feel it in my bones. And this is going to make for nice art journal spreads and backgrounds and cards and things. You can even use it in your scrapbooking. Ooh, not bad. Very, very nice. I like that gold coming off there. Let's try a glossy paper. I think I have a little bit more left here. See if we can pick up more paint there. Oh, there's something there. Okay. So this is actually gel printing for dummies. It wasn't difficult to make the gel press. It wasn't expensive. I would say it takes quite a bit of paint. That's okay. So just want to mention, when you're done with your stencils, pop it in your bin next to you. Have a bin with soapy water. It can soak while you work. And then when you're done, then you can go wash that off. So until I'm finished with this one, I'll put it in my bin. See what we can pick up from the negative. Ooh, I like this even more. I love it. Very nice. Very, very nice. Very nice. There's a little bit there. I'm going to leave it. And I am going to place my gold in the middle. In the middle of the night. Billy Joel song. I wonder what happened to him. Just came up into my mind. Just love the gold for some reason. Okay, and now we need a different color. So what would it be? Let's vote. Pink, red, green, yellow, orange. No, not orange. Something that will go well with shell. There's a nice pomme sure, sour apple. I love that. I'm very into French. At one point I wanted to learn the language. It's kind of tricky. You need exposure. So I traveled to Mauritius when I was a student, and Madagascar. In both islands they speak French and Malagasy and the local Creole languages, and so I had a little bit of exposure to the French, but that was it. I have a French Bible actually, but I would love to learn French. Such a romantic language. And actually it is where English came from, right? Okay. Right. Let's put it down and see what we get now. So I can recommend the craft metal paint in the golds and bronze and things, but just check that your paint is thick. You don't want a watery paint. Interesting. It brings a little bit of that black that was left, see? So you get dimension to what you have there. Okay, not too bad. Just going to lift it up and see what we're going to do with that. Pick that up. Oh, I can just imagine the cards I'm going to make. Ooh, nice. Very, very nice. Different textures there. The stencil makes for interesting design. Very nice. Thank you. Celebrate. Right, now I'm going to pop this in the bin. Hope you can hear the water there. Okay, I'm not touching that. You can see my hands. Ooh, manicure gone. Need a sip of water. Cat baby is sleeping in the background on the floor. She is my faithful studio sidekick. She is assessing me all the time, making sure mommy is on track, doing what she's supposed to. And I've noticed that a lot of creative people have cats, and I think there's something about the highly sensitive temperament that goes with being creative, having the creative profile. Leave me a comment down below if you are highly sensitive and super creative. That's your outstanding characteristic. So if you are this creative person, then you can actually know that you are highly sensitive. Go read up on what that means. We function a little bit differently than the rest of the world, not because we're better or more important. We're just as important. Everybody's got their own uniqueness to them. Our temperament is just a little bit tricky and can cause overload really quickly, so you need to take care of yourself, and this is just the ticket. This is what you need to do for yourself. Right, so we've got gold again, and I'm just thinking about what stencil I've picked out here. Got a little doily, so perhaps the doily. Let's see what. No, I'm tired of doilies. Let me see. I've got a flower bouquet. Let's see what that does. done. I hope you enjoyed this video, playing around with all the different acrylic paints. I haven't even touched the inks a lot. I did that off camera earlier, and then I felt like I wanted to dig into my acrylic paints a little bit more. So let's call this acrylic paints and gel press, and how to do a homemade version of what you see online. I hope that you enjoyed it. Subscribe to our channel and give us a like and ring the bell. See you in the next video.